So let's go flying with the birds and the angels, taking ourselves lightly, and remember, if you want to be the best, let your mind be a parachute. It only works when it's open. So the first strategy is to understand and regularly assess your stress. And to do this, you need to know what you are assessing. So what is stress? Well, there's good news and bad news. The bad news is that stress is unavoidable and necessary. The good news is that stress is manageable for peak performance. You see, stress is simply the impact of internal or external stimuli, and therefore stress is not good or bad until it's processed and analysed by the person. Good stress, or eustress, is great for us because we need stimulation to thrive. Who wants to be bored all the time? The bad news is that bad stress or distress is uncomfortable and it can be very painful. Distress is to be avoided at all costs if you want to have a happy, healthy and productive life. And just know, different personalities perceive stress differently. The high-speed personalities initially thrive at a high level of stimuli, but they need to monitor their stress with critical analysis. Any vehicle that travels at high speed needs regular rest and checkups, and the human being is far more needy of these than any object we create. Think of the type A personality. They're fast-moving and they're most likely to have body stress. One type A was asked to learn a relaxation count with 20 breaths. So you start off with 20, count backwards all the way to 1, breathing deeply each time. The type A was asked, how far did you get before you had an intrusive thought? The type A snapped back, well, at 20. What do you think? The type A's, watch out, don't travel at such high speed. Now, slower speed personalities tend to be more laid back and are less vulnerable to high speed damage, especially to their bodies. But they can be more weighed down by negative thinking and are probably more likely to suffer brain stress with symptoms such as brooding, pessimism, or obsessive-compulsive thinking. So, to get stress-proofed, firstly assess where you are in present time. Just stop for a minute and think about your current stress levels. Now give yourself a score out of 10, where 1 is fantastic, in control and feeling great, and 10 is the most severe stress you can imagine. Got your score? When I talk to groups, I ask them to raise their hands if they're 8 or more. Then I get the rest of the group to point their finger at them and say, bang, you're dead. Because people with such a high score of 8 or more are likely to die very soon of a heart attack or stroke. So if you scored 6 to 8, I'll get your neighbour to touch you on the head and say, you need a therapist. You're likely to be suffering from addictions, suppressions, explosions and breakdowns, and you could also be finding that bits of your body are starting to break off or go toxic. If you scored between 4 and 6, you're probably coping reasonably well, so long as you have no major crisis or drama, and so all you need is for your neighbour to nod wisely and advise you that you need a massage. And if you're only a score of 2 to 4, you deserve a high five and a big acknowledgement like, way to go, you're doing great. And if you're under 2, wow! My 14-year-old son, Robin, said the best thing to ask you would be, and would you like fries with that? After all, you've got everything just the way you want. All you need for life's perfect serving is the fries. Fantastic. Now, if you're really keen to assess your stress more objectively, you might like to fill in the check-in form which I created for the Goalmaker software program. The check-in allows you to take a snapshot of your life across 7 main areas. Your physical, emotional, educational, mental, relationships, career, and the one that always gets me, finances. You see, your results are a reflection of how you are